Welcome one, welcome all, welcome to this playthrough of Civilization V with the Community Patch Project mod. This is a series of mods that are worked together as a pack, essentially, of mods. And you can find all the information for this inside of the YouTube description. If you're on Twitch, well, just search for Community Patch Project. It'll be the first link. So let's jump in. We're going to set up a new game. Sometimes I like just going with a random civ. We'll do Terra, standard size, standard game pace. Yeah, that should work. I think on standard that'll be okay. So, Communitas is a custom map script that comes with this mod that is basically like a much better version of Continents Plus. So we're going to jump into that, and I've chosen Terra, meaning that everybody, all 8 civilizations, are going to be put onto one large continental grouping, similar to Eurasia/Africa in our world, and then there will be another continent that has all ocean tiles surrounding it, which is supposed to simulate the New World. So by the time we get to astronomy, people are starting to explore this new colonizable area. So let's jump into it. Ooh, we got Dido of the Carthaginian Empire.
Salutations to you, revered Queen.
So you can see, if you've played Vanilla Civ 5, that all of the leaders' abilities and the unique units and buildings and things have sort of been changed around. So Dido's and the Carthaginians is that cities produce a large sum of gold when they're founded. Bonuses scale with era. All coastal cities receive a free harbor. So we're going to be looking for a lot of coastal cities, a lot of coastal setups, because that free harbor allows us to connect them to our capital very easily. I wonder if we get the free harbor even before we've researched the technology requiring it. I guess we'll find out. So this is a caravel replacement. And the caravel is the first thing that can... Oh, no, this is replaces trireme. Okay, that makes more sense. Receives the reconnaissance promotion for free. Yeah. So it's stronger than a regular trireme, I think, and it gets the reconnaissance promotion for free, which is... Oh, that's a special thing for this mod. Scouts also get the reconnaissance promotion. They actually level up by exploring unexplored tiles. So that's the thing we're going to get there. So the trireme, once we get to that, we've got it's a melee unit, right? That's what that one is. Yes, melee only. So that's a nice thing that we can use to put some pressure. This is a replacement for the East India Company. And the East India Company is a national wonder that you can build in this mod. And I think this is just a more powerful version of the East India Trade Company. Oh, wow, because it grants you 2 additional trade routes. And receives a free copy of all luxury resources around the city. So you want to found this in a place with at least 2, but hopefully 3 luxury resources if you get really lucky. All right, so that having been said, let's take a look. It started us in a pretty decent position, adjacent to whales and 2 pieces of coral. Unfortunately... in this mod, one of the things that I noticed is that coastal cities are much more easily destroyable than non-coastal well, because melee ships scale pretty decently fast. They're actually quite powerful. So when you found a coastal city, you want to consider founding it in a way that only one ocean tile can actually move in, and then you can station your own naval unit right there. So I could move this unit, this city, 1 step this way. It wouldn't make the mountain tile any further away. It would make this mountain tile a little further away, but I can buy that if I really need the production later on in the game. I'm not going to be getting that one super early anyway. It's still 3 tiles away, and the other coral is still within reach. It's 3 tiles away instead of 2, but I think that's okay. My real concern is, what am I losing down here? And to be honest, it doesn't look like I could be losing too much. A lot of water, maybe some land, but I could be gaining a bunch of land tiles up here that are valuable. At the same time, you have to consider if you're blocking another city location. I mean, they do put these cities in a great spot, but I think I'm going to move it up here. Or I could move it here. Either of those gives only one access. So this one makes it much more difficult to get access to any of the resources. So I'm going to go here. And I also want to move this guy a little bit more, see what there is. Okay. So we'll found a new city here, and we're going to get a lump sum of gold, 200 in the early age. Okay. So we start without any really easy way to get production. And it's going to get us whales right away. Which is 10 turns. I could buy the forest tile here for 100. Since I did get that lump sum of gold, I think that might be the best bet. Or I could build a scout for free and buy this later. I think that's the best bet. I really like having that lump sum of gold. I have to say, that's nice. Not having to choose quite what you're going to be building is great. Okay, I definitely want them to go there. And I think we want fishing as soon as possible so we can improve these resources. Let's take a look here. So once we get fishing, it gives us a hammer and a culture on that, which is great. And it gives us... There it is. It gives us a food on this. Okay. I wonder if production isn't a better call early on. If we should get mining. That might also reveal stone. In fact, I'm almost certain it would reveal stone somewhere in here. So I'm going to take that risk because I really do need the extra production in this capital city. It's not a great capital city at the moment because I just don't have any production within this first outer line of the city, outer circle. There's free 50 gold. Okay. That could get us close to building a worker when we need it. And I'll put the shrine there and we'll buy the worker. Now, one of the things in this mod is instead of simply buying buildings outright, when you pay money for a building like this, you invest in the building. Instead of actually getting it instantly, it cuts the build hammers required in half. So buying buildings with gold, much less effective. You also can't invest in too many a turn. So we're right next to Montezuma, huh? That's not terribly great. And where is he? He's over there. We could look at putting an inland city right here. Look at that. We've got salt and we've got wheat. And I think on this map, that would definitely do it. And it's right next to fresh water. That could be a really good thing to do. Meanwhile, we've got more coral and more coral. Very interesting. We could get a coral monopoly, which is one of the things this mod allows for. Hey, free production. That's another thing we needed. And that's, I think, another new piece of the mod, is you don't normally get production from any of those goody huts, the ruins. But that's one thing that the mod added. Okay, I guess I'll continue. Is this a coast? Or is this a lake? That's a coast. So I could consider even putting a city here, which... 2 tiles, it's not quite as defensible, but it allows me to put it on the coast and it's next to a river, so you get both benefits. I think I can get up here before his guy, maybe. Let's go say hello to Cape Town. We gave 4 food. Thank you for the food. They changed that from vanilla as well. Most people are probably aware of the fact that, oh, we found Sweden. Welcome, Gustav. I almost forgot to put this on, yeah. So, this is an interesting situation. I think we're going to be packed on this continent like sardines, which is going to start some early potential wars. And I think as a result, I'm going to want to settle. I want to settle her pretty quick. I'm also fairly certain I'm going to want... well, I guess in part, it depends just how much of this territory is going to have barbarians in it if I want to go authority. Is that authority? What's the policy choice here? Yeah, authority. Because, man, you gain culture really slowly unless you can kill things. Alright, we got the whales, which are giving us some science, interestingly enough. Okay, we finished the monument. We'll definitely work on the shrine, and I will buy a worker soon. I want to finish mining so that we can learn, and I'm hoping beyond hope. I'll just stick with... oh, that's right, I gotta fix this option. Every time I do, it resets. I want the clock, and I want to turn off close text city screen. There we go. That won't close it every time I select things. Oh, we got Hiawatha. And he is... where? Over there. Okay, so Montezuma and Hiawatha that way. Oh, we got some tea over here. Another piece of the mod. There's the Swedish. There's their capital. They start with tea. They would be interested in settling over here to try and get a monopoly on tea. If you have more than 50% of the luxury resources of a particular type, or the strategic resources, you get a monopoly, which means they all produce extra something, usually culture. Getting both of these and both of these would give me a pretty close to getting the monopoly on coral, if not having it. A lot of the times it's just 7 or 8 of them spread around the map. They also have this lapis lazuli. And as you can see, my scout has gained experience from exploring, and so he levels up. Okay, yes indeed. Pleased to meet you, blah blah blah.
The meat shall
Okay.
but not its meant.
We did find stone, as I suspected. That's fantastic. Alright. So, what is this going to pick next? I kind of need you to pick... and we have mining now, so I'm going to grab... ooh, I can invest in the well, but that doesn't give me a lot of production. The well is an equivalent building to the water mill, but it's only buildable... it's a weaker, it's not equivalent. It's weaker than the water mill, but it's buildable in places that are not on a river. So... that's something to consider. But later, because this thing scales production and food based on the number of citizens in the city. And if we found on a river, you'll see that the water mill gives you 1 food and 1 production for every 4 citizens in the city instead of for every 5 citizens in the city. So I don't want to build this yet, because right now it's not even going to give me 1 production and 1 food. I will just outright buy the worker. And... that may have been a mistake, except I'll just start building farms. You know what? Might as well. Soon we'll get access to the stone here. But until then, we'll continue building farms. I like to try to explore close to a rival's capital fairly early, because it hasn't expanded yet, which allows me to see all the tiles. Later on, I'm not going to be able to get close to it. We got 6 people watching. Welcome. Who's out there? We got anybody that's willing to chat? Another interesting thing about this mod, and I'm going to definitely start here. The way that farms work in this mod is for every 2 farms adjacent to a farm, it gains an extra food. So if you can build 3 farms in a triangle shape, then each of them gets an extra food, because they're each next to 2 other farms. But they've also made the villages very valuable in this game. And you can't build villages directly next to each other. So the farms have to be next to each other. But the villages have to be spread out, which makes it difficult to actually figure out exactly how you're going to plan your thing. So here, now I have to plan. Here's some new things from the mod. Tradition focuses on great people and the construction of an impressive capital. So this gives us 3 free culture and 2 food in the capital. That's just bam. That's how you get culture from this. This one gives us culture every time we research a technology, and this one gives us culture only when we kill units and clear barbarian camps. We can also get culture when we demand tribute from city-states or by having a garrison in the city, but that comes much later. And we get culture when you found or conquer cities. So there's other ways to get culture here. But having the extra bonus against barbarians early is going to be valuable. Having the big bonus at the end, which winds up being, what we got, 5, so 6 times 4, 18% production bonus towards land units. That's pretty powerful. Oh, 18%, and then another 5, so actually 23% production towards land units. And then being able to purchase those special mercenary units is pretty damn awesome. They have a special promotion that lets them, scour or destroy the land, the improvements that they're on top of, and gather gold from it. Raid, I think. And allows you to purchase great generals. And the last one on this is plus 10% strength to all your units forever. And you get free military units out of it. That's hard to say no to. At the same time, progress is great for the later part of the game. It's pretty good early on because it helps your satellite cities build very quickly. You'll notice you get science and whenever a citizen is born in your capital, which helps you research technologies. You gain culture every time you research a technology. And then you have this. Cities earn food and culture when they construct buildings. So you don't focus on food production with this. You focus on production. If your satellite cities can produce a lot of hammers, they don't need to make a lot of food because just by constructing buildings, you're going to grow the size of the city fairly quickly. Because that plus 10 goes up to plus 20 in the classical age, etc., etc. It goes bigger and bigger, scales with era. And then it makes buildings faster to get and tile improvements cheaper. You get a worker, you get free production in every city. So this scales with the number of cities you have. It gets better and better. And it scales with the more people you have. So this is a very decent early game if you want to spread out quickly. And it really helps you in the late game with all of these infrastructure things because they scale off of the number of cities that you have. Specifically these 2, and then extra production in every single city it obviously gets better and better the more cities you have. Free production. There's a lot of good stuff here too, except that I don't have a huge amount of hammers in my capital. And right now that's what's really concerning me. Then tradition is all about making a super great capital. So if the place your capital is sitting on is amazing, then you'll want that. So we've got 3 culture and 2 food base, bonus growth in all your cities. Now you get bonus growth for every policy you get. So that's basically another 5 times 4. Oh, I'm sorry, 20%. And the other one was 24%. Jeez, I'm sorry. I can't do math tonight. And then it also improves all great person improvements and landmarks. And the throne room grants +1 to all yields, musician specialist, and a great work of music slot. So all of these give you a new free building in your capital that give you specialist slots. So tradition is actually very valuable if you expect your capital to have so much food that you can support a ton of specialists in it. Specialists, of course, don't generate any food of their own. But since we have a capital sitting with all of this free land around it, that's a ton of possible spots for farms. We don't have to worry about building lumber mills on them. It just is not going to be an option. We don't have to worry about building mines on them unless iron just happens to be there. So we could get a lot of food bonuses from building a lot of farms. So I think that tradition is our way of life here. So let's start with that. 3 bonus culture, which doubles our cultural output right now. And then, what else was it? A bunch of food in the capital. So we'll grow faster. Okay. At this point, we're going to continue scouting in this direction, but I think I have found the edge of this part of the continent. Now, I really am probably going to be missing authority later. But for right now, it is what it is. Okay, we've got some cultural guys over here. And I love culture, not necessarily even if I'm going as a cultural victory. I just love the bonuses and making the choices in these social policies. It's really cool. We got gems over here and more stone. There's going to be a really nice spot for a city that's on the coast and next to a river and next to gems and next to tea and only one space. And it's within 2 of a mountain, so observatories are a possible spot. And it's got wheat right here. How can I say no to that spot right there? That means I know exactly what I need to do. I need to build a new warrior, and I need to build it fast. Because I'm going to get the ability to build settlers in 4 turns. The other thing I need to do is turn my warriors around and kill this barbarian camp so that I can take that spot before Gustav finds it. He's going to get pissed at me for doing this, but it's too good to pass up. 2 new luxury resources? That's not something you get in your second city very often. Usually it's like this. You get 2 of the same. But I'm just going to jump right over. Oh, geez, and that's an amazing spot too. But it's too close to Buenos Aires. You can't build there. That's too bad. Too bad indeed. So here's hoping these guys will just move off somewhere else. Yep, there they go. Here's another nice piece of, not of the mod, but of a sub-mod. It shows you the promotions that your own units and your enemy units have, which is pretty valuable. Oh, and we found London. So we have to deal with a naval power there. Oh, hello, Lyrium. Rengar is the bane of AD carries. I wonder if that's old text? Does YouTube auto-upload streams now? Yeah, that must be old text. Hey there, Dano. Finally getting a little Civ 5 action. Yes, Bolt. Yes, indeed. Alright, so we'll come right over here. And I'll see if I can get my scout. Oh, jeez, the guy got right in my way. Seriously? Let's see if I can get him. I can lure him over towards London. And get around him. Oh, London's actually apparently coming to help me with this. Oh, until they're not. But I gotta attack these guys and just weaken them as fast as I possibly can. And we got another policy already. Wow. Why? That was super quick. I wonder what I missed. Oh, maybe we got some culture from talking to the culture city-state. Maybe that, I mean, it was only 6, but that's a full turn's worth. Okay, so we can get culture cost of acquiring tiles reduced by 20% in all cities, and we get the court chapel, which gives you an artist specialist, a great work of... Oh, +2 faith. That would get us... oh, but this has +2 production. Well, I'm going to get both of them fairly quickly. So let's definitely grab the faith, because early faith lets you get your pick of the pantheons and gets you closer to a foundation of a religion sooner. We definitely want construction, because we do have the stone nearby, and the stone works is going to help us a lot, because that's going to give us another 2 hammers. Oh, no, they're coming after us. Leave me alone. Oh, jeez, why are they so strong? Fortification modifiers. Well, let's see if I can... Yeah, I'll at least get an upgrade from this. And our worker is completed. Construction's not going to be for a while, so why don't we get another farm laid down? Actually, 2 more farms probably we'll have time for. It's going to take 6 turns and 6 turns, and then we can go and get that, and that'll give us the triumvirate of farms I was speaking of earlier. And as you can see, we've got the Court Chapel, which we have a free artist in, and I will definitely like to keep him there. And that's going to get us a great work of art sometime in the near future. Less than 50 turns into the game, we'll have some tourism to show for it. How's the stream look? Is there anybody out there that can let me know? I'm curious, because I got it streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. Oh, geez, that was a mistake. Oh, boy. Okay, so the choices in this mod... 20% and 15%. So this is great, obviously, for cities, but it's also good for attacking this particular spot right here. Versus the other option, which is better for attacking units, because you get a flat 10% bonus against everything, and then your flank attack is increased. So I am going to go ahead and grab the bonus versus fortified units, because that's specifically the thing I'm trying to attack right now. Oh, hang in there, scouts! Good thing they had that river defense bonus. Those guys are going to heal. These guys are going to run away. Carthage's borders have grown. We're getting the extra culture now because of the great artist. We only have 3 guys right now. We're growing pretty fast, though. 2 more turns. Thank you, Peter. We will heal up these guys in the mountains. 11 turns till we get a Pantheon. Already have a trade route, which I should take advantage of as soon as I can, but I need to make sure I have the barbarians under control before I do that. Carthage has grown. What is it doing? It's eating food. I think, honestly, I need you to focus here. Actually, you know what? I don't need to do that. I can just say production focus, and he'll go there automatically. I don't have to lock it in there. Okay. So I'm building farms for the future. Right now, I'm not using the farms. These guys are all healing up. I'm going to send them both back that way. Okay, there we go. We've got our other warrior unit. So the 2 of them should be able to break this barbarian camp, and we'll get some gold out of it, too. The most industrious people. As expected, we're pretty low on this list. Second to last, because our capital is just not in a super productive area. We can make it productive. Just not yet. So, once we complete this 3rd farm, instead of all these farms being worth 3 food, they will all be worth 4 food, which is a pretty significant growth improvement. Okay, so these guys are going to go across the river if possible. Actually, no, you'll stay there and do some attacks there. I'll replace the guys across the river with these guys. Alright. Yeah, there goes Stonehenge. I really like Stonehenge. Alright, so even though we've got the bonus versus the barbarians and the bonus versus fortified units, this is still going to be a losing fight here, because they are in trees. The forest gives them a defensive terrain benefit. But we're still getting some XP from that, and I think we can level up one more time. And this is going to hurt, but I'm going to attack anyway just to do a little more damage to these guys, because they're going to keep healing. Barbarian's a little harder in this mod. And now my scouts can just kind of stand there and act as a flanking force, which means I now get a big bonus here. You can see I'm going to start doing some more damage. And I think I might level up the next time I attack. These guys are just going to heal. I think I might just have these guys replace these guys and make the attack.
How happy are those whose walls already rise?
I don't know. How happy are those? You tell me, Virgil. So I'm going to attack with these guys. And then I'm going to replace them and attack again next time. I get the chance. So we've got our construction. We can either find out where iron is, which is very valuable when you're settling your city, but since we've already picked a new city location for other reasons, we should probably start looking towards the wheel in order to get ourselves a connection to that new city. Now, that's going to be a long, long way. So we're actually going to need to know more about what resources are available along the way so we can find a third city somewhere in there. All right, now we're going to get our Royal Guardhouse with an engineer specialist, which gives us +2 production, and the engineer will give us another +3. This also gives us extra defense, which is great. And the AI is throwing a person in there because frickin' 5 hammers is a great thing to have at the beginning of the game. And we're still growing in 5 turns. And these guys are going to pop down to the stone. Alright, so here we go. I can replace these guys. And we'll start attacking again. And I think we can take it now. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? There we go. Alright. Oh, this city finished. Oh, we do get the free harbor even before. So trading on the ocean's faster, and we get 1 gold from it for free. It says maintenance too, but I think it doesn't cost us anything because it's free. So, when a sea trade route originating here and targeting another civ is completed, a tourism bonus with the civ based on your recent culture output. Okay. Not bad. And naval production is increased. Forms a connection. Oh! You know what? We don't have to worry about building a giant road because we're putting our coastal city right there. So we'll have a harbor in that city and have a connection way earlier in the game than normal. Because if you notice, you normally don't get a harbor until when? Not even sailing. Sailing gives you a lighthouse. But the harbor comes, not chivalry, compass is when you're supposed to get a harbor. So being able to do this without roads is amazing. So we're going to actually skip building the rest of the wheel because we don't need a chariot archer. But I do want to see where all these resources are. And I do want fishing. And then I think we also need bronze working. And then I'm going to work up to writing because we're going to be a little behind if we've skipped that. Okay, so what are we going to build in the capital now? Granary would give us +3 total food. It's going to cost us a little more maintenance. Tough to say. We finished our shrine. That's what we finished last. But the whole point of this was to get a settler as soon as possible. So we're going to get a settler. And we got the free money. I think I might hold on to that money in order to boost the production of a monument when I settle this city. We can also now found a pantheon. So what do we have in abundance? Damn, that's hard to say because we don't know what resource. I haven't researched the correct things. So we'll have to choose a pantheon based on other things. You know, you can find pantheons based on the number of pastures that you have, the number of fishing boats that you have. I can't even see if I have fish anywhere along this coast. I know that I have coral, which will give me fishing boats. So the god of the sea would help me there. But I don't know if the rest is going to scale properly. I do know that I'm going to be a coastal-loving city, so the God of the Sea can't be bad. But it also seems like I should go for something that helps me early. This one gives us free faith and happiness, but it never scales. This gives us 3 faith with quarries. And no, mines go on salt, not quarries, so that's not terribly helpful here. +2 science in cities with a city connection. So when we build our second city, we'll immediately start getting 6 faith and 4 science. That's pretty nice. That certainly starts off faster, but ancestor worship will, of course, happen to benefit us much greater later on, where if we have a 30 population that follow our religion, that's +10 later on, and that only gives us a flat 3 culture. So that's an interesting combination. So you get a boost to culture immediately, and then you get a slow burn somewhere else. Bonus culture in tundra, no. Food in coastal cities. I didn't see the +2 food thing. We know we're going to build a lot of coastal cities. God of the Sea is looking better. I do like Goddess of Beauty if I'm going for World Wonders, and I did that in the last game, but not in this one. Shrines and Wells, Goddess of Fertility. Well, we are going to have a well in our first city, but probably not in our second one because it's got a river, and our third one's probably going to be on one of these 2 sides of the river, so probably not in that one either. Goddess of Love. Every time a citizen is born, you get 5 golden age points and 12 faith. Huh. That could be a lot of faith. We don't have a lot of mountains. Protection gives city increased range combat strength and faith from walls and barracks. That could scale okay later on. I think we got to be the God of the Sea. Wisdom. If we get a lot of science per turn, we get bonus faith. And every city produces extra stuff. The Sun God. Faith from farms on improved resources. So if we had a lot of wheat. I mean, there's no other really things that farms improve, is there? I think it's just wheat. But if you have a decent amount of wheat nearby, I guess that's what you got. So I think we're going to go with the God of the Sea. Because even though we don't have fishing boats yet, we will soon. And the +2 food in coastal cities is a nice boost. So we're getting animal husbandry, and then we're getting fishing right after that. I think that's a good pick. All right, let's heal these guys up. We now, you can see, have the farms that instead of getting 3 food each are now doing 4 food each. And if I were to build another pair of farms over here, that would form another triumvirate, and that farm in the middle would get 5. It's a pretty interesting way of setting that up. The thing is, my capital's not going to be an amazing trade empire capital, even though it does have the 2 resources. I'm not going to have a lot of places to place down villages because I'm really focusing on making this something that produces a ton of great people all the time. Now, we're also going to want a stoneworks, but we can't do that until we get the marble done, because that gives our marble the stone. That gives us our stone an extra 2. Quality feedback greater than YouTube stream. Oh, quality feedback on the YouTube stream. Yeah, the 1080 60 FPS, I'm very happy with how that's looking now. I'm streaming at 720 on Twitch simultaneously. I haven't seen anybody except Bolt Simmons commenting in the Twitch chat. Have you guys played this mod before, or you've played Civ V before? I really, really like this mod. I love the challenges it really gives you when you just trying to figure out what to do next. And the AI is so much better in this. I'm playing on King, and I've played a bunch of different games on King with various patches in the last month or so of this mod. And man, I'm not immediately in the lead on any of them. I'm still in like 3rd place on one of the games I started, even though I'm in the industrial era. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good. And it's not because the AI is cheating. they're doing smart things. Like, they're using the World Congress against me. I took over too many two capitals, and they basically, the guys who control the World Congress, there's like two powers that have focused really heavily on getting diplomacy stuff going, and they have been putting the sanctions on me so I can't trade with anybody. So my gold is doing terrible in that game. All right, so we got our animal husbandry. That gives us a lot more possible resources on the map. Horses over here. That's just another great thing for this city. Nothing in the middle here, but that's okay because this city's still going to have more tea and salt nearby it. Horses way out here. Oh, horses and cows right here. That definitely helps the production of this city all of a sudden. Now, that's a bit too bad because I was hoping... Well, you know what? We can still do a lot of farm stuff on this side. As long as we don't find iron over there, the farm stuff is still going to be incredibly valuable. Alright, so now is the point in time where I think I want my scout to really finish finding out what's nearby. Explore the last vestiges of the area around here. So, as you can see, Communitas mod always makes some really good maps. And one of the things that they focused on is that lakes, interior lakes, are formed and usually drain to the ocean, which makes sense. The rivers on this make sense. You see, this lake is sort of an area where the water around in here... Let me see if I can do this right. If I do... Changes it. Type is T. There we go. So all the water flows in here. Oh, that's not very useful, is it? Well, I just found a problem with that. I can't paint on the screen if the game thinks that I'm painting on the screen. Oh well, you get the idea, right? It's essentially flowing this way along the river. Next. Oh, you know what I'm worried about now? I'm worried about barbarians spawning. Yeah, God, of course, of course. Okay, so the capital, a granary would help us with no special resources. It would just be 3 food for 1 gold. I don't think I want to do that. Ideally, we get the well next, or the stoneworks. The well would start giving us 1 production and 1 food, but I feel like the well's not really worth it until you get at least like 10 citizens, and then the well is worth it because it's costing you a maintenance and it's only giving you those 2 things. The granary at least gives us 3 food, but on the other hand, a caravan would really help us because we're going to start running out of gold here. As you can see, we've got only the +1 now. Yeah, let's get a caravan. We're also going to need to start getting some archers and spearmen, hopefully. If we get even luckier, we'll get some bison somewhere nearby. Ooh. Is Elizabeth going to help us here? Maybe? So I think I'm not going to try to kill this just yet. I'm just going to escort my scout. Or not my scout, my settler here. Carthage has stone! Huzzah! So we're going to put the stoneworks after the caravan. We're not even getting those things in the water anymore. Ooh, ooh. Okay, fine, but you're going down. Get them! Take their money! Excellent. Now we can get this amazing spot that's going to piss off the Swedish. And now let's definitely start getting some pastures. I wish I had known about this abundance. I mean, we got horses and cows over here. We've got horses and cows over here. I wish I had known about that before I had chosen my Pantheon, because having 4 pastures with that Pantheon probably would have been useful. Man, I love The Witcher 3. Love The Witcher 3. I need to finish it, though. I get, like, really into it for a while, and then I get into something else, and then I come back to it and go, why did I stop playing this? Alright, so our guys have a new upgrade. We made these guys really good at taking out fortified units in cities. I think this guy's going to upgrade to a spearman, though, so I don't really care about him attacking cities too much. Hopefully my swordsmen are going to be the ones attacking cities. At the same time, the amphibious promotion is really nice. We have a decent amount of rivers here. And if I were to attack cities like Stockholm, having the ability to walk across the rivers and get double movement is not bad at all. I think I'm going to take amphibious. Having at least one guy with amphibious is really nice. Even though you're like, oh, but I can always use that plus 10% strength. Well, sure. Sure you can. Man, look at this. The English have 3 military units out here already. I've only got 2. Now, if I were to put another city down, I think I want to put it along this coast as well. That way, I will definitely have a connection without having to worry about roads. So let me look here. Which of these would be better? This one is much closer to these mountains. And this is going 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So this is the limit of Carthage. One, 2, 3 gets you to the salt. I feel like this would be a really nice production city. We can put it right here because easier to defend. Only 1 water tile. This is attackable by 3 water tiles. That's a dangerous game. Even though it'd be faster to get this city going because it's right next to the wheat and it's only 2 spaces away from all those mountains. Gotta side with the better to defend later on. If I'm going to be attackable by navy, I need to consider that. I've only got 1 happiness right now because I still haven't been able to actually activate my happiness from my capital's luxuries. Here's another interesting piece of this. Ooh, we've got buffalo up there and deer right here. So no matter which way you slice it, we got lots of food, even if we can't make quite as many farms as I wanted to. This one actually right here can be completely surrounded by farms, and then it makes it like a super farm. So we will certainly try to do that. But for now, we're just going to take advantage of all these awesome resources in our capital. Can't say no to that. So, where do we go with the scout next? It looks like Sweden's built their 2nd city already way over here. I'm very glad they didn't do it over there. Now, what's our best trade route right now? We only have the one. Yep, we only have the one. Cape Town, the lousy Cape Town right now, because everything else is too far away. If I simply revealed this city, then I'm sure I could get a much better trade route. So that's what I'm going to do next. All right, we've got our settler. He's going to be right here. He's going to get all of those beautiful resources. And when I settle over here, he's going to get all of those beautiful resources. So we'll build it. Bam. Now, to start with, as I mentioned, I wanted the money to invest in a monument to help it expand quickly. And a worker would not be bad, but what could the worker do right now? Not a whole lot unless I buy that gems, which I can't do until I get enough gold. So let's hold off. If I can get 250 gold without having anything else to spend it on, I'll buy a worker, and I will buy that plot. We've got the city connection established. Excellent. We're getting close to fishing. Yeah, about that. They want us to promise not to settle near them. I don't know if my second city area that I'm planning on is considered near them or not. Let's find out. Yeah, I'm sorry. That is definitely near you, so nothing I can do about that. She's just going to have to not like what I'm doing. Now we're going to need a settler. And we're definitely going to want an archer. Because I want that spot. Those are my 3 cities right there to start with. I mean, I'd love to get one up here as well somehow, and I might be able to, but we're just going to one thing at a time. DK has grown. This city's going to grow. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What are you doing over here, Sweden? What are you doing over here? I think I know what I have to do. The most prosperous of all civilizations. Well, I didn't want it to come to this, Sweden, but you're going way too close to what I consider my territory. So this city's going to have to build an archer next. And then we're going to have to declare some war. I hate to do this so early. Probably going to make an enemy for life, but, you know, Stockholm was too close to me anyway. Yeah, I miss company here also sometimes. I got back into CH2 for a while, and then something else just got me. Messiah's messaging me, you know what you must do. You must attack that poor defenseless settler. Mine? Mine? Yep, mine. I did need a worker, remember? He didn't have it defended by anything. I don't know what he wants from me. England, I didn't mean my scout to be over there. Whoops. England, I would have hesitated because they have at least 3 warriors, and those are simply the ones that I can see, but I haven't seen any military power from Stockholm. I'm just going to see if I can scout this. Okay, there's the rest of their military power. And their first expansion city there, their first satellite city, which looks like it's very vulnerable out on that tip, but it's possible there's a lot of good resources over here that I can't see. They do have tea, and they have the cattle. And if there's 1 or 2 resources there, it's going to be awesome. Messiah, if you're watching, you should talk in the chat room like everybody else. One does not simply. Okay, and then we will... So after fishing, I think I should go straight for calendar. And I'm going to need iron soon. Because... uh-oh. Hang in there, scouts! Hang in there, scouts! Good job! Good job hanging in there. Oh, we found Shaka. It took us a while, so maybe he's not close. One can only hope. So, run away! So, gems or horses? Huh. Why not both? He says. And wheat as well. One thing at a time. You don't get rich by spending money. I've learned that through the ages. Though I do desperately need the money to upgrade these guys to spearmen as soon as I can. Because they're only, what, 8 strength? So yeah, 8 to 11 is a pretty significant increase. It's like a 40% increase in strength. There's our fishing.
Has command of everything.
So we're at 0 happiness right now. We do desperately need to throw in a workboard. Or 2. Let's finish the stoneworks first. All right, I'll do 1 workboat and then I'll... Oh boy. Gustavus Adolphus is still chasing me. So one of the other interesting things about this mod is it's completely rehashed the happiness system to put more of an emphasis on actually caring about how your cities are being built. Because the way that the old system worked, you could build happiness in your capital and it would cancel unhappiness coming from your city on the other side of the continent. It didn't make a huge amount of sense. The health system in Civ 4 made a whole lot more sense. If your city is unhealthy, you have to make your city healthier in that city for the most part. There are certain things that increase your health nationwide, but usually it made sense for those things to increase your health nationwide. Like when you discover the technology for biology, you learn more about the germ theory of disease and why that makes sense that it fixes your health or whatever. But the way that the happiness works in this game, in this mod, is that, oh, I'm unhappy now. So instead of unhappiness immediately killing all of your growth in the main game, which is like, it was like all or nothing. You were either not unhappy or you were unhappy and horrible things happened. And then at 10 unhappiness, more horrible things happened. In this thing, it's a graduation. If you're unhappy between 0 and 10, your culture, faith, gold, growth, and science output are reduced by 1% per unhappiness, up to 10%. It might actually go past that once you get past 10. If you're happy, you get a bonus up to 10%, 1 per extra happiness that you have. So that is great. Now, where does the happiness come from? Well, you get your difficulty level happiness, and then you get your luxury happiness. But instead of your luxuries giving you 4 happiness for every type of luxury resource you find, they scale throughout the game. And that's an attempt to balance the tall versus the wide empire, which in Civ 5 means basically some people like building a few cities that were super amazing. You focus all of your money and your resources to making these 3 or 4 or 5 cities just have huge populations. All of the bonuses that you choose from your religion and from your policies are designed around growth and making these cities super cities. Or you could grow really wide, but by necessity, if you tried to build a lot of cities over the course of the game, you are not going to have them nearly as developed as if you had a few cities. So in the vanilla Civ 5, building wide was the only way to play. You just always wanted to play. Oh, you don't you have to tab out to type in chat. Well, if you shift tab and watch it in a in a window. Anyway, so the idea is this scales over time. As your population gets bigger, your luxury resources generate more happiness. So you can see it says when I get to population of 27, the happiness of my luxuries is providing 2 instead of 1 once it gets to 27. So the happiness that luxuries provide go up over time instead of giving you a flat 4, which is super OP at the beginning of the game and super underpowered at the end of the game. Now, the main thing is where unhappiness comes from. In the old game, you would get unhappiness from every single city that you founded and every single population, and it would scale up over time, whatever. In this game, you only get unhappiness from things that are actually wrong in your cities. Now, it's very, very difficult to make a city so developed that it doesn't have anything wrong with it. You can see that right now we're losing a happiness, we are generating 1 unhappiness from poverty, crime, isolation, and illiteracy, as well as half of an unhappiness from urbanization. So each specialist generates 1/2 unhappiness, 0.5. And these other values are basically comparing the development of each of your cities versus all the other cities on the planet in the game, and kind of ranking you and saying, okay, right now, compared to other cities, Carthage is pretty low on the strength, the sort of defense scale. It's actually got 2 unhappiness because crime is rampant. And if we click on the city, you can see the exact stats here, the breakdown. So it takes the defense number, 14, and divides it by the population, 6, to give us 2.46. is the number. It's the amount of defense divided by this per capita, essentially, right? All these numbers are per capita, per person. So as the cities get bigger, they get harder and harder to please for all intents and purposes. So I could fix this. I could gain happiness by putting a garrison in the city, which will increase its defenses. I could build walls, which will increase its defenses. And certain buildings, like, for example, the barracks, also decreases crime. It doesn't do that by giving you happiness, nor does it do it by giving you defensiveness on the cities. What it does is it lowers the requirement. So right now, I need 3.68 defenses per person in order to essentially get back to neutral happiness from crime in my capital. However, if I built a barracks, that need would decrease by 10%. So it would be easier for me to meet it. Instead of having to build walls and have a garrison, maybe I could do one or the other, because I have a barracks there, which also lowers crime. So the building lines do things like lower crime or lower illiteracy. So the library will increase your science output, and it will lower the need for people to consider themselves literate. It functions to help lower unhappiness from low intelligence, illiteracy, whatever you want to call it. So it's also saying here that the 0.83 culture that I'm producing per person is pretty good. The other option I could get here is actually poverty, which is if my city's not producing enough money, enough gold, compared to all the other cities on the planet. Basically, the people here are comparing themselves to cultures in other cities, and it's saying, hey, these other cities are better than us, and that makes them unhappy. So if I make a really awesome, super developed city, it actually makes the other cities in the world less happy. It hurts my opponents when I have a city that's producing a lot of money, or a lot of culture, or a lot of science, or has a super well-defended, not crime-ridden city because it's got walls, and it's got an arsenal, and it's got a whatever the next step is. Armory, I don't remember. Anyway, that's that. So that's the super awesome happiness system. Carthage has grown. We found fish! Yes, that's great. That works perfectly with our pantheon of gods. Unfortunately, we did not get fish anywhere near this settlement. We might be able to put another settlement over here and get that fish, that coral, and that coral. In fact, I think that's a great idea. I do just need the happiness at the moment. But the main way to do that is to get the unhappiness taken care of. If I can... For example, wow, production, culture, and the two faith. There's our bonus to happiness back to 0. But if I can put a garrison in this city and build a library, I'll cancel out probably at least 2, maybe 3 unhappiness. This city itself also has 3 unhappiness, but it's because they're impoverished and they're not producing enough money in this city. We'll fix that as soon as we get the gems. But again, every time the city produces a new person, that person has to start pulling their weight. So every city's almost always going to have some unhappiness with it. It's very, very difficult to balance a city perfectly. It has to be just super awesome bonuses on the tiles next to it in order to stop that. And even then, if you have any... we got a declaration of friendship? Yes. I don't even know where you are, so I don't mind making friends with you. Oh boy. Here come the Swedes. I'm just going to go up next to him and flank him so that he's a little weaker here. Okay, so now that we've got all this, we can build a camp right over here, which will give us some more gold. The warrior is just going to fortify. He wants to buy my city? For furs and 143... Under what circumstance do you think this is a deal that I would accept? No! Emphatically no. He saw that city and he's like, I like this city. I would like to buy this from you. Here are some beads and trinkets. Like, no, I'm not going to fall for that. Try again. All right, food and gold on the buffalo here will help a lot. Hello there, Calvin. All right, policy. So, the next one here is the Palace and National Wonders with building requirements gain +2 happiness. Court Astrologer is built, which gives us a specialist and 2 science. That's great. Our science is going to get boosted by 1/6. That's about 16%. And we get 2 happiness, which is the thing that we were worried about here. That will help us found a 3rd city. The Swedish still not happy that I took their worker. What's going on over there? Oh, that's my scout. What's going on over there? I'm losing. I'm losing a battle. So let's go back to that guy, shall we? Oh, we're going to go back up and intimidate him here. And those guys finished, huh? So maybe they just wait right now. Or I could just go back this way. Yeah, that'll do. Ah, now that is a trade I might be willing to provide you. But not all 5 of my horses, you dunce. You can have 2 of them for maybe 2 gold. That's good enough. Okay, yeah. 2 gold per turn is pretty decent. Once I finish off Stockholm, I'll have a team monopoly.
Our days so that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
Oh, excellent. We got a plantation, which means we can get this tea over here. Start the plantation construction. And this scout hasn't been super useful this whole time because I can't go find out what's going on over here, and I really, really want to. Maybe I'll send my... Oh, God, I hate to send a settler that way. But I really want to just reveal Montezuma's territory so that I can see what's what. Alright, just defend this worker. An enemy is near. What do you think you're doing coming up next to my capital? One of the other things this mod does, instead of giving your city an automatic 2 range and an automatic ability to shoot over mountains and obstacles, is the city earns those over time. I'm trying to find where it is. I think it is mathematics. City's range strike increased by 1. So the city's strike range by default is only 1. It can only hit things directly adjacent to it on this mod. But once you get to mathematics, it can then hit things 2 away. And then I think once you get to rocketry, or maybe artillery, ballistics, somewhere up here, you can go up to 3 away. Radar, rocketry. I don't see the icon, but maybe it's not listed. Or maybe I'm misremembering. I'm almost positive the cities get a 3 range at some point. I know that by the time we get to... I thought it was physics, but I know somewhere it unlocks the ability to shoot over obstacles. Anyway, I don't want to keep looking for it here. So let's start this thing up. Another nice piece to this mod is that if you have ever been trying to defend a city and you want to finish off an enemy unit with one of your military units who's currently garrisoned in the city, but you don't want that unit to be vulnerable to counterattack, you hate to have to attack out, like pretend that I would kill this spearman by attacking out of the city. But then my weakened unit would be stuck outside of the city for an entire turn, open to being completely surrounded and attacked by the enemy. One of the things this mod does is if you attack out from a city and kill something, it stays in the city. It doesn't follow through, which is very valuable in a lot of situations. But I am going to try to take advantage of this flanking bonus here. Oops. And now I'm going to do this here. This warrior is going to get a promotion, which is great. Alright, we've got the settler. Now in 4 turns, I'll get iron revealed. That can tell me whether I want to settle over here or whether I might want to settle over here. Because if there's iron somewhere here that my capital can't reach, I'm definitely going to need it. But as of right now, I'm pretty sure this is my better bet. So I'm going to start heading there. And I'm going to hope there's nothing in my way. What else do we have available in our capital now? The pyramids would be nice. The pyramids would be really nice. And somehow my capital can build them in 10 turns? Do I bother investing in it? That would chop it down to 7 turns? Oh, man. That's a tough one. Because I'm going to try just straight up flat out building them. I'm not going to invest in them. I could really use that money. I'm going to use it right now, actually, to build something. Oh, boy. They're putting the hurt on over here. Alright, well, let's continue to hit these guys. Now, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. So, I've got these guys here that are going to attack out of the city and kill this thing. But you'll notice that they'll go and retreat back into the city when they're done. Perfect. Another feature of this mod is that units in a city take some damage when the city is attacked. I think it's a percentage. It might be like 15 or 20% of the damage that's taken by the city, or of their health, or maybe it's 50% of the damage the city takes. I don't know exactly, but I am going to buy a chariot archer that could upgrade later. Buying a military boat could be useful. It's our unique boat. But I think a chariot archer is going to be more valuable to me right now. Because I really want to go and essentially explore Montezuma's city over here and see what he's got. Oh, there goes the pyramids. Oh, well. I found out that I had it too late. Alright, these guys are all leaving. Excellent. So now the chariot can ride up this way. See if we can view these cities so that we can trade with them. Because when this caravan comes back, I want to trade with a more lucrative partner than Cape Town. There we go. So we can see that. We can't see their capital, though. Which is a little bit frustrating. We've got an archer in the city now. And this one can go and explore south of London. Somebody has founded a religion. We're still not doing great on religion. 100 turns away. When I get another fishing boat, that'll help. So this city needs a granary because we have wheat over there. But more importantly, it needs walls. Yeah, definitely walls. Ah! Maybe it won't need walls quite so quick. This is a new thing to this mod as well. There's now a new thing called the war score. And the war score is sort of a running total, I think, of how much damage you've done to them versus how much damage they've done to you. When I stole their settler, it probably did a lot of damage to them. And it sort of very slowly decays over time. And if you capture a city, you get a huge chunk. And that kind of determines how much stuff the AI is willing to part with. It's a way to make the AI make intelligent choices about what to offer you in order to end a war. And that is quite useful. Because you won a war, your tourism with all other known countries is increased. That's another new thing. Whenever you get some kind of... Whenever you get some kind of milestone, when you win a war, when you complete a city-state quest, when you expend a great person, you get some bonus tourism. You have it's a historic event. Other people hear about it. And that scales over time. I got +3 this time. I think it's a fraction of your current culture production. Okay, so we got the iron. Hang on. Before we choose our technology, let's see. Where can we find iron anywhere on this map? Answer, nowhere. Nowhere near us. London has some iron. They built a farm on it, those fools. The good news is, though, Stockholm doesn't have iron either. This might be a war won with horses. And you know who has a lot of horses? This guy. I have so many horses, I might be able to trade horses the next time for iron. That would be very valuable. Even 2 iron so I can get some siege weapons. Take out Stockholm with it. Because they are obviously my enemy. I think writing is about time here. So this is a food. This is culture. Culture's kind of lagging behind. So I'm going to make Buenos Aires the place that I want to influence. That's the city-state I want to be mine. They have the pigs there. Neither of these have iron, right? Militaristic city-states usually tend to have settle next to iron. Okay. So one of the new things about this mod, in addition, is it has the city-state diplomacy mod built into it. And what that means is I can't pay them money to make them like me. You can't win the diplomacy game by winning the economic game. Gold is not something that just gets you friends. Instead, city-state quests are very valuable. So I could focus on getting a lot of culture if I wanted to make these guys like me, for example. Because that's one of the city-state quests here. They also want me to get a grid engineer. But there are other ways to influence them now. Pledging to protect a city-state lets other major powers in the game know that you will protect them. So if other people try to attack them, I will be called to war. I can decide yes or no. If I say no, then I lose a lot of influence with the city-state. But if I say yes, the city-state loves me. In addition, the resting point for influence goes up by 5. And I earn 15% more influence from any quests that I complete with them. So pledging to protect them has disadvantages in that I will be called to war against other major powers who attack them. And it has advantages, because pledging to protect them also increases the strength of their units. So if a single city-state has like 3 different protectors, then they get a lot of extra benefits to their military. And their city's capital goes up by a bit. So I'm going to pledge to protect them in order to get that +5 extra influence resting spot. And I need the scout over here in order to see that stupid Montezuma city. So we built the camp. I guess I'm going to come back and build another farm. Who is that? English warriors. Anyway, we discovered that this city is probably my best bet. Another part of this mod that's built in. I remember in the normal game, I would be able to take everything from them if I took all their cities other than their capital. In the normal game, yeah, I mean, they would make some absurd things. The other thing you can do in this game is once you get to a certain technology, you can vassalize your enemies. You can force them to capitulate at the end of a war if your war score is high enough. I basically meaning if you've taken all their cities but one, like if you've taken everything but their capital, then you can force them to capitulate and they will become your vassal. Just like in EU4. Well, almost like EU4. So, yeah, I'm going to found this city. Sorry, English, you're going to have to move. And it gave me 200 gold because, again, we're the awesome Carthaginians and we get money for founding cities and stuff. And we're going to get a free harbor. And I'm going to do that thing where I invest in the city to get a monument very quickly. The other thing is that because we founded a city on a forest, it chopped down all the trees and gave us all the production on turn 1 of the city. So that's pretty awesome. We can now upgrade our military a little bit, and I want to do that, if only to intimidate our enemies. So fishing here to the whales, that will give us some extra faith there. 3 from building, 2 from terrain. Oh, because they're not actually farming this one. Because I have it focused on production. Well, let's change it to Great People Focus and see. There we go. That changed it away from the other one to this instead, which gives us some more faith. Isn't Ethiopia the one in the base game that has the bonus for when they have less cities than you? Like a defensive bonus or something? I don't know what their bonus is in this mod. Great artist has been born. Well, that is just freaking fantastic. And we're definitely going to create a great work because this guy is going to get us so much culture. I mean, tourism. Tourism. Look at that. We got a cave painting. Now, that could still be a good spot for a city. Maybe. No, there's a lot of water there that's just doing nothing but maybe farming. I think I want to go explore all these. And for that, I need a scout. Do we buy them? It's only 3 turns. But the statue of Zeus could come in handy. Yeah, we're going to put that and we're going to buy ourselves a scout. Where did we get this? Tech bronze working? Geez, how come nobody else has bought this yet? Okay. So now we're going to go straight to gems. 3 turns until border growth. I think I'm going to wait on that instead of buying the tile. Because a great person has been born, where tourism has increased by 4. We got a city connection, so that gives us some more money. This city, gonna need some walls. It's brand new. I don't want it to be attackable by Gustavus Adolphus. A granary wouldn't be bad either because it is next to some wheat. And more importantly, it's going to need a worker, so I need to build a worker somewhere. Maybe this city could build a worker for us. Yeah, 20 turns till we get a worker for that city. It's just going to be a slow grower. Hey, we found another city-state that gives us some culture. Now, I didn't finish talking about the diplomacy options. Once I get to writing, we can talk about that. You can build diplomacy units instead. Let's go start exploring the world. And in fact, that's what we want rather than a scout. But scout is still going to help us because we still needed the extra sight lines to... I think we'll still get the extra sight lines over here. Maybe. It's tough to say. I should have built barracks first. I didn't have the ability to build barracks. So the scout was probably wasted. I can upgrade him to an explorer later. Alright, so yeah, this is going to be growing in 2 turns, so I'll just wait that out. And it's definitely going to pick that. So that should be good. We got our archer. We'll just sit him in the city. And now that you see the city's got 16, they're still thinking it's dangerous. Because even though I increased the defense of the city, we've also increased its population. Upgrade the unit? Let's not yet. We've got 1 spearman. That might be enough. Would it be enough?
By the grace of God, your days are numbered.
By the grace of God! You'll pay for this in time. What makes you go to war with me? She's also at war with... Oh, that's me. Carthage. I'm glad I put the frickin' defenders in that city then. Holy crap. Out of nowhere. The nerve of this lady. Ah. I found your scouts with my chariot archers. Luckily, she doesn't even have spearmen yet. She's still got warriors. Alright, let's start building a mine with the gems there. I think the reason she went to war is she realized that she doesn't have any place to settle without going to war with me. I would like to take over this whole subcontinent area here before I look to exploring anywhere else. So. But taking their capital right now, that's a tall order. They do have iron. It would be nice. Oh, Gustavus Adolphus! You and your stupid wonder stealing. Oh well. Well, let's have this scout start exploring the rest of the world. Meanwhile, we'll definitely upgrade this guy, this Carthaginian warrior, into a spearman. And we'll do this. And we'll do that. And unfortunately, this is not my amphibious guy, but still, he is going to be able to beat them up. Leave me alone. I'm just a scout. I need an adult. Oh, and we get them. Wow, yeah, their warriors are no match for us. We are winning this war easily. That's like a desperation move. It was what it looks like. They didn't even excuse me. They didn't even concentrate their fighters anywhere. They don't have horses. They do have horses. Ooh. Like I said, I think this is a desperation move. They knew I was probably going to declare war on them eventually, and they were trying to get to me first. But they're just about to get cleaned up. They're not in a... I took a great spot here, and I had to declare war on Sweden to do it. As long as Montezuma doesn't stab me in the back, I should be able to take on both these guys. These guys, you know what I'm saying? These guys. I mean, you know, these guys. Stay there. Now we've got a new caravan. This is okay. I could also boost this city by 7. Is it worth... Is 4 gold and 1 science worth 7 hammers? I think it is. I think that city needs a boost for a while. I want them to finish those walls pretty quickly. Stop breaking my cities. Ah! Lucky for me. Oh, never mind. That's not even a river. I'm just going to kill them all. These guys... I think I want them to be amphibious too, because, damn, look, if I have to attack London, attacking it from this direction is going to be difficult. Alternatively, I think getting the extra flanking bonus on this might be better. Or getting this guy. This could be my medic. I'll put him in the middle of everybody. So if I do need to heal up, he will help. Oh. I thought we had a whole thing over here, but I guess not. Let's make the deer ours. Yeah, range defense is definitely good, and I do usually put that on my frontline units, like my swordsmen. I care less. If they're shooting at my spearmen, I'm like, okay, if you insist. We've got our frickin' chariot archers on top of a hill shooting at enemy horsemen. This is a weird setup we got going on. But I'm going to try to go wide around London here And get back into friendly territory so that scout can be useful. Continue feeding us some XP here. Okay, England? I appreciate it. I appreciate you. The Roman Forum. I love that wonder. I never get to use it enough. They took my worker! I didn't even see that coming, those sons of bitches. Whoa, whoa, look out. That's also very bad. Lots of bad things just happen, people.